Right, what's happening guys and girls? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to sunny, beautiful Austria. Look at the settings that we're in right now. This place is so stunning. I've been out here in Zelensee for the FAT International Ice Race. I brought my 911 out, but I knew that whilst I was here, I needed a set of wheels for the week. And there's one car that I still haven't tried yet out of the M lineup, and it was the XM. So I asked BMW Austria very kindly if I could do a little road test for the week, and I'm going to be seeing whether this could be the next replacement for my G81 M3 Touring. Let's have a little chat about it. Now we've got to talk about the looks of this thing. It's definitely very subjective. Personally for me, I think you guys know me by this point, I like things that are big, slightly obnoxious, wings, wheels, stickers, that's all a little bit of me. The XM kind of does that for me. I've been looking at whether I wanted to go into an SUV next, and this was the one that kind of piqued my interest because I looked at X5Ms, X3Ms, X7s is the one that is just, you just don't see that many of them on the road. This is an XM50E, so it's still got the 3-litre inline-6 engine. It is technically the base entry level to the XM because you can also get the label, which has got like 700 horsepower, has the 4.4 litre. But let's just take a quick look at it. There's lots of things that I really like about it that people were going mental about. I kind of love the fact that it doesn't have the roundel, but it has the XM badge. This is obviously finished, I think it's mineral white with all the black accents on it. It's got the little go faster stripe down the side of it as well. If I was going to get one of these, would definitely have gone for like a black on black, because I think this, once it was all murdered out, would look absolutely wicked. We've got to talk about the practicalities of it. I've been using this car as a support vehicle for when we were at the ice race. I have literally my entire life in the back of this car. So it's got my snowboard, my big Rimowa trunk, my 2 carry-on bags, coats, and there's still plenty of room in the cabin. Like, it is extremely useful. Like, could I get all of this into the M3 Touring? Potentially, but not as snugly and as neatly as this. But coming back to the stylings, I mean, it's got massive wheels on it. Like, these are absolutely huge. They're 22-inch wheels on this. They've also got this kind of like diamond effect on the handles. Like, it is very bougie. In the rear seats, like, it's got so much space. We've been traveling 4 up the entire week plus bags. So it's been really useful in that sense. This is also a plug-in hybrid. It does use the hybrid system when you're kind of trundling around town. I think it's got about 80 something kilometers range with the plug-in system. So, you know, fuel economy as such. It has the 3-litre inline-6 engine. It's just shy of about 500 horsepower. I think what I will notice is that with this one, it's not that it's amazingly fast. But when you're driving a car like this, which is technically a luxury SUV, you go from like SUV, X3, X5 to X7, this is considered luxury SUV. So you're sort of treading lightly into the G-Wagon, Urus era of cars. I think, you know me, I'm a BMW girl. I've always loved the M lineup. It's such a unique looking vehicle. I love that at the nighttime, these grills, like the lights around it, light up. The car has so much road presence. You see people literally see it and get out of your way. Like, if this was fully black on black, I think it would look absolutely sick. But really, it's when you get inside the car and you start to take in what a lovely place it is to be and drive around in this amazing settings. Now, it looks very, very nice here. Whether it would look the same sort of driving around the A46 back in Warwickshire, who knows? But it's definitely got a vibe to it, don't you think? Ah, yes. It is extremely comfortable. I mean, it's not amazingly different to the Touring. It's got the same running gear, it's the same curved screen, the steering wheel is exactly the same. Although, we do get the better seats. Like, I've got the bucket seats, which I think aesthetically are more pleasing than these. But what I will say, there is so much adjustment. All the massage options. So like I said to you earlier, this is the M50E. There are more powerful versions of this car available, like the label, for example. So it's got just shy of 500 brake horsepower. It can do 0 to 60 in 5.1 seconds, and it's got a top speed of 250 kilometers an hour. Now, are you going to put all of those stats to the test? No. You know what I want to do with this vehicle? I want to waft about, be comfortable, launch all my stuff in. You know what my life's like at this point. I'm heading back and forth to airports, back and forth to shoots. I want something that I get in and it feels like a hug. And what I will say is, this car does feel like that. It's really luxurious, especially with like all of the bells and whistles. There's so many different little like luxury parts of it. I mean, the roof lining on this is pretty special. It's all like Alcantara with like a geometric shape. It's got all of the lovely interior lightings. There's a lot of ambient lighting in this car, and I do really quite like this dry carbon as well. It's lovely. The next thing is, it's quite an expensive vehicle. These are starting at like about 100 grand plus. So you have to really like it if you're going to buy one of these. The other thing I will say is, when I was driving about, it's very important, the Bowers & Wilkins sound system in this thing, chef's kiss, very, very good. If you're wafting, you need good music as an accompaniment, and this has a wicked sound system in it. I do think the mineral white on the XM suits these settings so well. It's like the perfect ski resort holiday vehicle that you could possibly get. I have loved driving in Europe. I mean, we've just been cruising around. Obviously we had the 911 with us and we had that in the trailer, and this has just been wicked for sort of going around, making sure we've got everything, but just getting a real feel for the XM. I don't know if the white would translate as well when we were back in Warwickshire. I think it would definitely, as I said earlier, have to be a darker colour, a little bit more moody. We don't have this much sunlight in the UK. It's been glorious here. So talking about how the car actually drives, I mean, there are a few things that I do find interesting. Like, I don't find the height or the weight, I mean, we've got to talk about the weight, it's 2,695 kilos. I don't find any of that intimidating or a problem. This car does have rear wheel steer, which does help it with cornering, but I'm not gonna lie, you're not ever really driving it that fast. It's got a good pull once you actually stand on it. If you want to get out the way, you can, especially if you're doing overtaking, especially on these roads. It could have a little bit more power, but like I said, this is the entry level one, this is the 50E, but I think the efficiency of this would be what won me over. Essentially, when I'm looking for a new daily vehicle, am I looking for a full performance car, which I honestly, the Touring to me has been such an amazing vehicle. I don't want to let it go. I keep looking left and right, looking at different things, like, you know, do I go full SUV? I was even looking at G400D G-Wagons, and this has been the only one where it's kind of like able to cross those two lines of like, it's still performance, it's a little bit rude, but also it's a bigger, comfier car. I don't know what it is. I think it's something that when you start to really do a lot of miles, because you're constantly moving around, like, you do look for something more comfortable. And I can't fault the G81 Touring. The bucket seats in it, they're beautiful. I don't ever have a problem with them. But I will say, after sitting in luxurious comfort with my back massager on, bum massager, hip pelvic massager, we've got all of the massages going on. And you have all of the mod cons in here. I mean, it's got every bell and whistle you can possibly have, all of the cameras. You've even got heated and cooled cup holders, which I know it's not gonna push you over the edge of signing the bit of paper, but at the same time, it is a nice gimmick to have in the car. It's a really, really lovely place to be. I do think, is it a true performance SUV? I think if you went for the XM, the label version of this, like, that is a beastie machine. Like, I've seen a lot of the car tests online of that car, and it's a beast. This, with the 6-cylinder, it's a very, very functional, usable, everyday vehicle. And I don't think it would be too mental on fuel, because like a lot of the mileage that I do is around town, and you can use the plug-in hybrid system for that. Okay, so we're coming on to the motorway here. I mean, it shifts. It's not a slow car by any stretch of the imagination. It just is what it is. I think some people, they expect the performance and the dynamics of a Touring when they get into something like this. And it's like, it's the different physics of all the vehicles. Cars have, like, each car has its own physics. Like, this is what it is. It's a big SUV. Like, does it shift? Yeah, it does. It's comfortable. It's practical. But it's still a little bit obnoxious, which is why I like it. I think you guys know me by now. It's going to be very, very difficult to make that decision to get out of the G81 Touring. I've driven the M5 a few times. I like the M5, but it's a big car. I think if I was going to go for a big car like that, I want something which is more SUV style, as opposed to potentially getting like an M5 Touring, something like that. I'm just really stuck as to where to go next, because I've loved the Touring so much. Obviously I had the G87 M2 as well. That's just not quite big enough to suit my life and my needs. So it's going to be something like this. But we looked at XM as well. Like, you can get really good deals on the X7s coming into 2026. But is that really me? Is the X7 me? I think it needs to be a bit more shouty. I don't know why. I think we need something that's got a point of difference, and you just don't see many of these on the roads in the UK. I don't really know much about the selling figures, but I would like to see one on my driveway and maybe have a little bit of a longer test with it, see how I get on the UK roads, because it's always wonderful. You have the holiday effect when you're out driving in Europe. You're just like, yeah, this is great. Everything's more simple, bigger car parks, more open plan. The real test is when you actually get home and you start to use it in your everyday life. I think my summary of it is, I really like it. I would take it in a different colour. I think it's going to be very difficult to find anything better than my Touring. But I think if I was going to get another car, which would be my truly everyday vehicle, and then I would more focus on maybe getting a performance vehicle like a two-seater that you can have your fun in, this is a very, very high contender. I like it, guys. It's bougie. And you know me, I like bougie machines. One thing that is very important to note is, let's be realistic, the G81, I got that at a really good price. It was a 2024 vehicle with 300 miles on the clock. I think it was 75,000 that I picked that car up for in 2025. This, starting, is a lot more, and that's going to be reflected in the finance that I would take out on the car. I need to really weigh up, like, does it do all the things and tick all the boxes that I need it to tick in order to take that huge jump in value? Because at the moment, I'm getting a lot of bang for my buck with the Touring. It's if I want to go drifting, tracking, traveling, anything in it, I can do that. This, I will be settling more into that luxury SUV market, which does come at a premium. That's just it. I'd be intrigued to know what you guys think after watching this video. I've got a feeling that a lot of you will tell me not to be stupid and that the G81 Touring is still the king of the cars at the moment. We'll see. I'm on my way to the airport now. I'm about to drop Patrick off. It's a nice little 2-hour ride, so I've got plenty of time to think about this decision. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and a big, big thank you to BMW Austria for helping us out and lending us the car for the week whilst I'm out here in Zelmsee, Austria. Make sure you stay tuned. I've got some very exciting content coming up. You haven't seen my E92 M3 yet. That car looks mental, and we've had a lot of work done to it, but the next time I'll see that car is when we're landing in Finland. So make sure you stay tuned, and I will see you guys very, very soon. See you later. Bye.